Hello and welcome to my channel. Skadi, one of Arknights' oldest operators, one of Arknights' most popular waifus, and one of Arknights' most demanded operator to receive a buff, after nearly 2 years in a brand new module. How does Skadi fare in today's meta? Skadi is a dreadnought guard, and this archetype boasts high HP and attack at the cost of defense and block count. Looking at the other stats, her DP cost is on the higher end for guard operators and her attack speed is rather slow. Other than that, Skadi's stats are really impressive. Looking at her talents, they are relatively simple, with the first giving Abyssal Hunters more attack and the second reducing her redeployment time by 10 whole seconds. As Skadi herself is a member of the Abyssal Hunters, the attack buff applies to her, further increasing her already impressive attack stat. While her second talent seems underwhelming at first, given the fact that Skadi is commonly used as a helidrop unit, this talent is extremely beneficial. Skadi's first skill gives her additional attack and attack speed. This encourages players to use her as an on-field damage dealer. However, due to her one block and relatively slow attack speed, she isn't a favorable operator to leave on the battlefield, so yeah, not her best skill. Her second skill is her much popular one as it gives her a massive attack buff for 30 seconds immediately upon deployment. Skadi's DPS skyrockets during the skill's duration, allowing her to deal noticeable damage on high defense enemies. Skadi is usually retreated immediately after the skill ends to prepare for her next deployment. Skadi's third skill is similar to her first, but this time, it buffs her HP, attack and defense by a massive amount, increasing both her damage and survivability in one skill. It also has an extremely long duration of 50 seconds at Mastery 3, one of the best skill uptimes in the game. However, as a trade-off, this skill has an equally high SP cost of 90. Thankfully, her initial SP is fairly high, so she can still be used as a helidrop with this skill. Next up is her module. The module that many were excited about. This was the buff that everyone has been asking for, the buff that will change everything about this top-tier waifu. After a year of pestering from the community, did Hypergriff finally give its players what they wanted? The answer is yes, but at the same time, not really. When her module is activated, she will instantly revive upon death and restores her back to full health. But her max HP is reduced to 40%. At first glance, this module seems absolutely game-changing. But in reality, the module only prevents her from dying once. After which, Skadi will be left vulnerable with the significantly decreased HP. An E2 level 90 Skadi will only have a mere 1,500 HP after revival. For reference, an E2 level 90 Exia will have more HP than Skadi. With this little health to work with, she can easily be bonked out of existence after revival, especially against enemies with high attack. So does this mean Skadi's module is useless after all? Well, not really. Before her module was added, Skadi's third skill was not that popular. Even at Mastery 3, after she is deployed, the skill still requires 20 more SP to charge, as Skadi is played as a helidrop that favors a fast skill activation time after deployment. This skill didn't fit her playstyle that well. Furthermore, the skill has very long duration, as Skadi is used to tank heavy-hitting enemies. Players weren't able to make use of the full skill uptime as Skadi would have already been knocked out before the skill is over, making it a waste. However, after her module was added, her skill 3 is now her signature skill. Thanks to the one-time revival and increased attack speed, Skadi can now make use of most of the skill's duration before her HP reaches 0, thus significantly giving a boost to her damage output. The increased HP and defense from the skill also aids in keeping her alive for as long as possible, thus boosting the popularity of her third skill. What's more, this module activates on a per-deployment basis, which means its effects are reset every time Skadi is redeployed. So, at the end of the day, is Skadi a decent operator now? Is she worth pulling and building? Can she compete against other operators that fulfills the same niche? The answer is, unfortunately, not really. First things first, while Skadi serves as a decent helidrop unit, her kit doesn't offer anything else. Her skills and talents are all very simple. When compared to Nerl the Radiant Knight, another operator from the same archetype, she offers crowd control through stun, tanking through her shields and true damage. Skadi's kit feels a little bland. In terms of damage per second, Surtur can easily outperform her thanks to the massive arts damage she inflicts in a short duration. On her own, Skadi takes a longer time to dish out damage due to her attack speed. If Skadi is able to make use of the entire duration of her third skill, her total damage is actually pretty impressive. So, how does guard Skadi fare in today's meta? To be perfectly honest, she won't and probably will never be in the meta. That being said, she can be a pretty fun operator to play around with the reduced redeployment time she has. Besides, she's a top-tier waifu. Who cares about the meta anyway, right? And that is all for this operator guide. Hope this video is helpful in introducing Skadi. I will be making similar videos in the future, so do consider subscribing to stay tuned. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.